What's going on? What's going on? Knicks and Bruises, we back. Episode 17. I got Leo Valentin.
Yeah, that's
Right?
what's up. Yeah,
Um,
Tone, appreciate you for having me, man. Knicks and
no
Bruises.
doubt, man. I
We got
appreciate I appreciate you jumping on, man. I've been following you on Twitter a little bit.
yes.
You always make me laugh, man, with your views and your takes.
Thank you,
I
man.
said I
Thank
got to
you.
get this guy on, and then shout out to Die Hard. I seen you on Die Hard show, and I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
oh,
yeah,
he
yeah.
beat me he beat me
Yeah.
to the punch. But salute anyway, man.
Yeah, Eru was dope, man. That was a lot of fun, man. We had a good time. Hopefully, I might join them at halftime tonight
I think
just to
I'm gonna
see
try
what's up.
to too.
Yeah,
And you guys had great energy, man. You both fed off each other beautifully. I loved
yeah,
it.
yeah. That was
So
fun, man. We
shout
had a
out
good
to
time.
him.
That's the good thing about this, man. Is like shout out to all the Knicks creators like yourself and all that, because it's fun because we have that passion. We're actual fans, and we're not trying to get we're not trying to get attention for us. We're not trying to draw attention and have weird takes. We watch every game, every minute of every game, and we're involved in every decision it plays a part in. We're paying attention to everything. So that's the cool thing about having creators who are also real fans. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Because it makes it fun, and you share opinions even if you don't always agree, you share similar opinions and you just want the team to be good. And that's the most important thing.
Absolutely. And you know what? It's no bandwagons.
Right. Right.
That's the great thing.
You
We
could tell
we
the difference. We'll call
yes.
you out on your shit too. We
You
will
know
call
that
you out on your shit. Yeah.
that's why I did this Knicks and Bruises, and I'm glad I started it before we were winning. You know what I mean? But I did this so we could get our frustrations out of,
Yeah.
of all the things we endured over the years, but then let it go, and concentrate on this new team. So with that being said, what were some of your
Oh
Knicks and
man.
Bruises over
Let
the
me tell
years?
you. Tone, I got a list, bro. So I know we only gonna go about an hour, but this could go for days and years and years. So but no, I started to watch the team. I remember being a fan from like 10, 11 years old. Like when my dad was a Knicks fan. He was born and raised in New York and all that. So he loved the Knicks. And it's just natural. That's the team that comes on, that's the team that plays, and you don't know any better. You go to games as a kid and stuff like that. So I go back to the Rory Sparrow, Louis Orr, Channel 9,
Okay.
that whole Trent Tucker. I go back to those years. But we had a lot of hard times, man, and it's good to be able to enjoy it now. But like some things, one thing that I remember, and I don't know where I told this story before, but I was at the Garden at a game. After the game, I asked Patrick Ewing for his autograph, and he was like, "Nah," you know what I'm saying? So that kind of I didn't get over that till last year. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So I held on to that for a long time, but you know, I didn't appreciate Patrick Ewing all the time because of that one thing. That one thing. He was a great player.
Hmm.
He's top two Knicks players, in the franchise history. But the one thing after that really really hurt me was the 1995 game 7 against the Pacers and the finger roll. And I kind of use that as fuel to be like, yo, this dude making guarantees. He can't come through. They lost to Akeem last year, and we thought they was just going to keep going,
Hmm.
going back to the finals because Michael Jordan wasn't in the league anymore. And that's the thing, too, is that you want to celebrate what the Knicks are doing this year because there are no guarantees. There's no guarantees that they're going to be good in the future. So, enjoy it now. But yeah, I thought they were going to be good for a long time. And dude is 7'12" and he up there finger rolling. Like, man, dunk the rock, B. What is you doing? Like, damn it, you had like a 6'8" dude under the basket. Like, you should have banged it on him. Here you trying to finger roll. So that was one of my main early like disappointments for the Knicks. You know what I'm saying? And then they lost Pat Riley that year and hired Don Nelson, and he flamed out. And, that just started everything downhill from there, man. Until 99, of course. But yeah, it
Absolutely.
was bad business for a while, man. The Knicks, the Knicks have gone through they burned through 7 coaches who are all-time greats. You know what I'm saying? It's like they
Yeah.
had Lenny Wilkins, who came in one of the winningest coaches, and then by the time he was done with the Knicks, he became one of the most losingest coaches.
Larry
And
Brown.
Larry Brown, right? That's another thing too, man. Larry Brown came in and he was this great coach, won all of these games and stuff like that. And then it hurt me because I was a Marbury fan, like watched him in high school and all that stuff. And he from New York. And I watched him be great in Minnesota and watch him carry the Nets. You know what I'm saying? Like he was putting that team on his back, and he had players who were cheeks around him, and he was just 20-8, man. That dude don't get enough respect. I still love and respect Starbury to this day, and I'm glad he was able to win. But that was another thing that hurt me, like his tenure, you know what I'm saying, and how they did him towards the end of his career. And I kind of blame that on Larry Brown a little bit, but
Well, not to cut you off, because he definitely had his issues with Larry Brown, but my number one is or one of my number ones was the same thing, but it was D'Antoni. At the very end.
Right.
But continue.
Right. Yeah. You're right. You know what? And D'Antoni wanted to play a certain way, and the way they just went about, and then we saw the same thing with Carmelo. I don't blame Dolan. You know what I'm saying? I blame the coaches, because you're forcing these guys to play a certain way that you're not maximizing their strengths. You know what I'm saying? So that's coaching. Like, okay, you got star play. It's different when you have guys like the team that we have now, right? You got Reggie Bullock. He knows in order for him to stay in the game, he's got to play great defense and, have a high 3-point percentage, but they put him in a position to succeed, right? You can't put a square peg in a round hole. And I think that's what they tried to do, Phil Jackson later with Melo or Jeff Hornacek, whatever. But, early on, what D'Antoni tried to do to Steph was so unfair. And then he went on to China and did his thing. But I think that dude deserves to be in the Hall, and I'll die on that hill. You know what I'm saying?
I'm right there with you, bro. 100, man. I mean, just to reiterate, this man's father died at the Garden, like in the stands, while he's playing.
Yeah.
Like, if for no other reason than that, you take care of that man. You treat him right. You know what I mean? You show him the respect of a New Yorker that is a Hall of Famer,
right?
And put it all out there on the court for your team.
Yeah, and he wanted to be there. We keep doing this to these guys who want to be here. Like, they want to come back and play for New York, and they want to be great for New York because they love the team. You know what I'm saying? And I don't get why, they treat these guys like that. And we treat these guys, afterwards, now you see Melo getting all the love and stuff like that. But, you got to treat these guys well while they're here, man, because they want to be here. And that's a great thing to have. If you're in New York and you want to play for New York, we love those dudes, man.
And from New York.
Right. That's right. That's right.
Which, that's one of the hardest things to do anywhere. Play for the city that you're from.
Right. Right.
Let alone to do it in New York. So yeah. I'm with you, bro.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, look, Julius Randle doesn't want to play for Dallas, and he's from Dallas. You know what I'm saying? He wants to play for the Knicks. Nobody really wants to play. Everybody wants to play for their hometown team, but people love New York, man. That's just what it is. But yeah, 20-8, man, 20-8 for his career. And Steve Nash he won 2 MVPs, and he was averaging like 14 and 10. So it's a highway robbery how they doing my man Steph, but we'll see. Oh, I wanted to say, man, every time I see your hashtag. Shout out to the hashtag Yo Black is Time. We come from that Nas Illmatic era, so I play that album at least 3 times a week, man. So
Salute, salute, salute.
I was like,
And,
yeah, I'm definitely gonna love this interview, man. This is gonna be great.
besides the meaning or the where I got it from, some people don't even know that. But salute to the Podfather Sim, because the way it started, he used to play that instrumental before his show started.
Oh, no shit.
And I would jump on the chat, and because that instrumental's on, the first thing I would type is "Joe Black is Time."
Yeah.
And it just started catching on. Other people started typing it, and so salute to Sim, the Podfather.
That's what's up. And I saw you gave him a shout out, man. 15K followers and all that. That's dope, man. That's dope. Yeah. That's why you do this, man, because you eventually you'll get the love, and it's dope, man. Just keep building.
I appreciate it. Slow grind. I'm used to slow grind.
That's what we got to do, man. That's what we got to do. I'm upset that you don't have the low shirt in the back. I know you was talking to somebody the other day. You had
it's always yeah, you're right. You're right. I got the pants on, but
you got you a low head too. Okay, I respect that.
Low life, for real.
That's what's up, man. We definitely from the same era, then I could tell.
Facts, man. Facts. Like I said, I followed you, and I hit follow a lot, but it's few people that actually check for everything they doing, and you one of those guys for real.
Thank you, man.
We definitely come from that same cloth.
Yeah, I just like to, I'm a big fan, but I want to bring, laughter and cheer to everybody. I want everybody to feel good. We going through some shit right now. Everybody's going through something, and I try to make light of things. I'm a comedian by trade, but I just want to have everybody to have fun. And that's really, and I like the interaction of Twitter. It's like talking shit at the barbershop, you know what I'm saying? And everybody having a good time, you know what I mean? So I love that shit. And I like the people who appreciate it, and that's why I do it. That's why I try to do it,
Yeah, shout out to you, man. That's a difficult field, and you definitely have talent, man.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
You make me laugh every time, and I know when you try, you know what I mean, like when you doing it for a joke, and I can tell it's a joke. And,
yeah,
you know what I mean, nothing's ever personal.
No malice ever, man.
Facts,
no malice.
Man. I appreciate that, man.
And respect to everyone too. We especially on Twitter, and sometimes the words can be taken out of context and misconstrued, but it's always respect first. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't know what people are going through, and you don't know what struggles they have or whatever, but it's always respect first. And I think people appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? They understand that it's all respect. Except for the media. Fuck the media. The media can catch strays whenever they
Speaking of that, that's gotta be on the list of Knicks and Bruises. Yeah, the media, man, they're a tough crowd, man.
Yeah, we had the Michael Rappaport thing, who he's on there waxing poetic about how much he's a Knicks fan, and he's getting ratioed on his own tweets. He's not getting any reactions, and he's just thirst trapping. You know what I'm saying? He's just out here showing his ass, and nobody's showing him any love. And that's the great thing about real Knicks fans, man. We recognize the duds. Max Kellerman can eat a dick. You know what I'm saying? But and we shit on them, man. We gonna defend our team like no other, man. And it's just great to see. Like, people be coming out of nowhere, like J.A. Adonde. You know what I'm saying? Motherfucker not even from around here. He don't even know where the Hudson River is, and he talking crazy. Like, he lost his job at ESPN or something like that. I don't know. All those things make me angry.
I had to think about who, like, that's the Doc Rivers looking dude. Like, I haven't seen him in a minute. Like,
yeah. He out there doing the Kentucky Derby. That's how irrelevant homie is. He doing the Kentucky Derby.
Oh man.
But there's a whole lot of Knicks fans out there that, and it's okay for people to come back, like People may go off the grid and they may not be watching because the team is not good, but they never talk bad about the team. You know what I'm saying? So
those are the fans that are welcome back.
yeah, definitely.
Those other guys, it's gonna be an obstacle course, man. And you might not make it. You might not make it back in
You might
because
fall flat on your face.
we almost have full capacity. So we gonna be selective
Word.
at who we
Yeah.
letting in.
Yeah, that number 36 bus is done, bro. We not letting anybody on the 36 bus.
Wait, you from the Bronx?
Yeah, from the
Oh,
beginning.
salute.
Oh,
Salute.
X. What? I lived all over the Bronx, man. Throgs Neck,
Okay.
Concourse, Mount Eden, all
Oh
over,
man.
man. 179th and Bathgate, Tremont, all of that, man. I've been all over the Bronx, man.
I could already see we're gonna have to do a part 2.
Yeah,
I
no
could
doubt.
already see
No
it,
doubt.
man. We're gonna
Yeah,
have some things to talk about, man.
yeah, no doubt, man.
Shout
But
out to the
y-
Bronx.
other shit that like the Knicks have such a rich history, but there's things like, another thing that brought me down was like that everybody shitting on the Allen Houston contract because I thought that he was amazing and he single-handedly made it cool to be light skinned. You know what I'm saying? Like that was my thing. I was like, yo, I got to get my hair cut like Allen Houston. You know what I'm saying? Because he fresh. I had the Houston jersey. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I was kind of hurt by people saying that he brought the Knicks down because he didn't. He was a good dude off the court. And you can see he's still has a front office position, so to speak, with the team. And, he's helping to develop some of the guys, but he was good. He was good. And he helped that 99 team get to the finals. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think it's all on him. If somebody offered me 120 mil, I'm taking it. I don't care what you got. I'm taking that 120 mil. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry to everybody who, but I can't hear you over the stacks of money. You know what I'm saying?
And it's not like he got hurt. It's not like he was hurt and then we signed him and hope that he got better. When a player is in his prime or increasing his value and then gets hurt, you can't be mad at the player for that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it wasn't no injury history.
Right.
He wasn't injury prone. So I mean, I agree with you with that 100% too, and that is on a lot of people's lists as far as Knicks and Bruises.
Yeah.
So shout out to you for the not feeling that way and actually being upset with others.
I mean, also too, he was probably underpaid. All those times that he was, he's scoring back-to-back 50 burgers on dudes. You know what I'm saying? Going to LA and come, so he earned that money. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't for his future. You don't get paid on future production. You get paid on what you've done for being underpaid for so long. So, but I'm glad he's still around and we have those memories of him hitting that shot. That's a Nick moment that if you were around and you were watching the games, you'll never forget that. You know what I'm saying? That's like a huge moment. And we could show that every time. Like if we meet the Heat this year, that shit is going to be on repeat. Everybody going to keep playing that shot over and over again. So
that and the fight.
Yeah, that and the fight. Poor Van Gundy, man, he never lived that shit down, just hanging on the dude's leg like a jockey. You know what I'm saying? Like he'll never be. Every time they see that shit, you just see two dudes throwing and then looking down at this little dude hanging onto his leg, man. Poor Van Gundy.
But I love it. I love it because it was synonymous with our fight on the court.
Right.
Like, it was a fight on the court, but you know what I'm saying, man.
Yeah.
That's the era we was in, man.
Right.
We was ready to throw down.
Yeah.
With anybody.
And that was that you're right. That was like the team's motto. Like we're gonna fight, we're gonna do whatever we can, we're gonna, scratch and claw, we're gonna play tough, we're gonna be physical, and that's kind of what we're seeing now. And that's why it's really, really exciting too. No punches thrown, but we playing as tough and as physical as we can.
Yes,
and I love that shit. I think, who was it? You might have been talking to Josh a couple of weeks back, and he was talking about Dolan. And I'm with you, man. I'm like, winning cures that shit, and we don't care what Dolan does. You know what I'm saying? He a billionaire. He not, he could do whatever he wants. But all we care about is the team on the court and winning. You know what I'm saying? I don't care about nothing that he's done. and that kind of makes me upset too, that people always bring up, and I'm not saying that Josh was wrong, but people bring up the media and, okay, the Knicks aren't so bad, but you don't hear them talking about Sacramento being terrible for so long, or Phoenix being terrible for so long. You know what I'm saying? Shannon going on TV with his tablecloth shirt, you know what I'm saying, talking crazy about the Knicks, you know what I'm saying? And he out there with his Denver Bronco face. Shout out to Unc, man. But yeah, I don't like when people talk about the Knicks. But
I agree, man. We see it all and we remember it all.
Yeah, but it's if we're winning, who cares what Dolan, his actions, right? He's hiring the most black executives, and that shouldn't give him a pass. But does sometimes we look at these letters, and I'm referring to you guys talking about the George Floyd response, and sometimes people like these companies do these things and it rings hollow. There's nothing to it. There's no substance. It's just like, let's just put it out there just because. And I don't know what Dolan's response was or wasn't, or why he did it, but I'd rather him not say anything than for him to be a phony about it. You know what I'm saying? And he's kind of like, with his actions, right? We got Scott Perry, even though Steve Mills was ass, you know what I'm saying? He was the president of the New York Knicks, the most, the highest grossing franchise in one of the best leagues in the world, right? So you got to give him some props.
Agreed.
Yeah, that's right. 4 Hour Love of the Game podcast. Shout out. You said Nick Wright can eat one too. Yeah, motherfucker out here looking like Count Dracula. Nick Wright. I used to like Nick Wright too, but he's awful, man.
I think as the years went on, a lot of these guys now, like, they're figuring out the clickbait and what it takes to get these views. A lot of these guys, there's no way they believe half the things they say. It's really just to get some kind of reaction and get the views up.
Right. So, right. They're looking for, and they got bills to pay and mouths to feed too. So they gotta, we're the biggest fan base, maybe, just by virtue of having more people in the city. So yeah, if you want, and it doesn't hurt them, right? So they go home and they sleep well at night. They don't care, that we're talking shit about them. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't bother them. They don't see it. They're just trying to make a living just like everybody else, but they need to be able to take that shit too. Cause at some point they're going to hear it. You know what I'm
saying? And we got to give it to them because the players really can't. You know what I mean? The players look bad if they say something. So yeah, let's give it to them.
yeah, no doubt. And we gotta as a fan base, we gotta come. That's where we come together, right? We let everybody have it, and everybody sharing their opinions, and that shit is good to see, man. That shit is real good to see. And I love chiming in on when somebody else is making fun. I'm like, okay, my turn. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, let me jump on this shit too, man.
Pile it
on. Man. We was talking about let me see what else. I think the last thing that hurt me was that 2012-2013 team, man, with Kenyon Martin and Jay Kidd and Sheed, and I get goosebumps now just thinking about that shit, man. I thought we was for real that year. I thought we was gonna get it, and Woody, putting his hand in there and letting these guys rock out. You know what I'm saying? I thought it was really gonna happen for us, and then to lose, to the Pacers, because they always seem to be the ones that at some point we had the battle. Like, that's a real rivalry, right? So I was talking earlier about the 95 game with the finger roll, and then the big play in that game 6 is, Roy Hibbert's block on Melo. You know what I'm saying? And how the fuck Roy Hibbert all of a sudden out there playing like Patrick Ewing? That shit made me so angry, yo. He's like Dollar Tree Dikembe Mutombo, and then all of a sudden this motherfucker comes out of nowhere and He's playing like Patrick
I
Ewing.
know, man. It felt like he always wanted to be a Nick. Like that's the vibes I got from him.
Yeah,
And being that somehow we didn't end up with him, like that was a shining moment for him. But
yeah,
yeah, when that block happened, it took it, like you felt the momentum.
yeah,
Like I've never felt that prior to. I don't think. The Starks game, I was a big fan, but I was young, so
right.
what I mean. It was more anguish, but to feel the momentum of the game and feel it swing, that was like the first time I actually like I kind of knew then, like
Right,
right at
right.
that moment,
Yeah, that's one of
it
the
was
biggest
over.
plays in the history of the team because it was maybe third quarter, early fourth quarter, but you knew that if he made that dunk, that would have been it. They would have been, toast. And then Chris Copeland was playing well. Who knew that dude was going to play well? J.R. Smith didn't shoot great, but they still made a run at the end. But after that play, you was like, oh no, this is not going to go well for us. That really, really hurt me, man. That really hurt.
Yes, City for real. Yes, he got a bag from that
Yeah.
block right there.
Yeah. Roy got paid after that game and never did anything else after that. He took his money and went home.
Oh man.
Shout out to
You
Roy
know,
Hibbert, though, man.
I as much as that hurt me, I got over it quick. And that next year, you know, for me personally, that was the toughest stretch because we went on that 16 and 8, 18 and 8 run, just missed the playoffs by like a half a game.
Yeah.
Phil
Yeah.
Jackson came in at the end of the year and did not resign Woodson.
Woody. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
man, and Woody was on record as far as saying like I'll learn the triangle and I'll teach it. You know what I mean? Like
He was willing to do anything.
he just wanted to be here,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I think as much as coaches get fired, whether it's deservingly so or not, this is definitely one of those situations where it wasn't deserving. And I mean, me personally, I wasn't a big fan of the Phil Jackson acquisition,
Really.
un,
I was getting
un,
ready to ask you that.
unless, like, my thing was coach.
Right.
If you come in to coach, I have no issue. You know what I mean? Like, I can't argue about anything. And then as the time went on, with that already being my stance, I felt like it just got worse and worse because he's bringing in guys and forcing them to learn the triangle, and then each guy's getting fired for not running it the way you want it to be ran.
Right.
Dude, come coach.
Right.
I don't
Right.
care. Like I was one of the few people I don't care if it's just home games. Like
Right.
do that. Like let's be let's be 20 games over 500
Yeah.
or 15 games over 500 at home
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
worry about whatever happens on the road.
Yeah.
But yeah, the fact that he didn't want to do that, and then as it went on and on, it just got worse and worse for me personally.
Yeah. I thought that was, and people blame Dolan for his mistakes, right? And I hate to harp on Dolan again, but dude just wants to win. Like he may own the team like a fan would own the team, right? He's like, yo, I don't care how much it takes. Bring me the best scorer of our lifetime and bring me Carmelo Anthony. I don't give a fuck about, you know, Gallinari. Who the fuck is Gallinari? You know what I'm saying? And get all these dudes off my team. Bring me Melo. And when that didn't work out, he's like, all right, we need to do something. What are we going to do? Phil Jackson, throw him the bag. You know what I'm saying? So he made dumb mistakes, but he's just trying to win. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's doing whatever it takes to win. And Phil was awful. And I was hoping he was going to pull, like you said, I hope he was going to pull an Isaiah, and not do the Anuka Brown Sanders thing, but like come down and coach, get them old ass knees sit your ass on the bench and coach these boys. But he never did that. And that was kind of disappointing. But look, Dolan turned it around and he was like, yo, you gone. You ain't done shit. We got to let you go. So that was a good move.
Yep, I agree. And it was interesting, because I kind of agree with you about Dolan, man. It's like I can't agree with some of the decisions he's made, but I can always say like everything he did, he was trying to win.
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I mean? Like that's another thing I always said about Isaiah Thomas minus that lawsuit situation is everything like even though I didn't agree with every move he did, every acquisition he's made, everything he did, I could look at it and I see what he was trying to do there.
right.
You know what I mean? Like I see what he thought was gonna happen. You know what I mean? It wasn't just out of this realm mistakes. It was just things that didn't work out.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know
yeah,
what I
yeah.
mean? So
Yeah, and Isaiah didn't have a bad track record with Toronto, right? He drafted Camby and or he drafted Stoudemire.
Stoudemire.
Yeah, so he had a decent track record. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know if it was before the Knicks. It had to be before the Knicks that he coached Indiana. I mean, they had some good players, but he didn't have a terrible track record. So I was like, okay, the dude knows the game. He's an all-time great. Let him rock out, see what he can do. I mean, it turned out to be a disaster, but but he
It
tried.
did.
We haven't heard from Jerome James since. He probably spent that 30 mil in the club.
Oh man.
Yeah.
That
So
was a mistake.
yeah,
That was probably his biggest one.
yeah. I mean, bringing Zebo, you saw.
I
I don't know if
loved
you
it.
saw the clip. Like Zebo, after that, he became like this dominant player in the league, and he was nice before that. But how happy Steph was when they got Zach Randolph. You know what I'm saying? And you know that those guys, maybe not together, they weren't good, but Jamal Crawford went on to be great.
Mm-hmm.
Nate Robinson went on to get knocked the fuck out. And no shade to Nate. I love Nate Robinson. He won 2 slam dunk championships, or 3. So shout out to Nate. I love Nate. But yeah, he had good ball players. Quentin Richardson was nice. You know what I'm saying? They just couldn't put it all together.
Yeah.
So he didn't make terrible moves. You know what I'm saying? It just didn't work out for whatever reason.
It's crazy about that era. And I think at that point in time I was one of those super optimistic Knicks fans. And I don't know when it changed. I guess gradually over the years it changed. I lost optimism, as situations got worse and worse. But I like anytime I hear Quentin Richardson talk about that time period with the Knicks, um, and he always says good things about the people,
About yeah,
the
always.
teammates, and everything.
Yep.
But the losing, like I didn't realize how bad the losing was
Yeah,
for them
yeah.
until I hear them talk about it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
They were still young. They were
yeah.
still young players.
But my thing was, you came from a not winning situation,
Right,
like
right,
you
right.
know what I mean?
Yeah, true.
Like, and he
Losing to the
got there
Clippers.
and he said he was ant. You know what I mean? Like he thought
It was on. Yeah,
it was on.
yeah.
So that
And
was
that's the
always good.
disappointment because they had so much high expectations themselves
Hmm.
because they're like, look, I'm playing with ballers, you know what I'm saying? And then, it's tough to lose. Like we hate them and we hate the team, but we don't, as fans, we don't really think about how tough it is for them because we're like, you making 30 mil, it shouldn't matter to you whether you win or lose, but they feel it. They want to
Yeah,
play well, they want to win, they want to get to that next contract too, I'm sure. So yeah, it's tough, man. And it's hard to hear them talk about it sometimes too,
it
man.
is. And as bad as it was, like for him in particular, you think it got worse. As time went on, he wasn't here no more. But if it was that bad for you, it makes me start thinking about as it went on, like. And Steph always took the high road, man.
Yeah.
Like you
Yeah.
know what I mean. Like it's similar to Melo. Like these
Yeah.
guys dealt with tremendous adversity and stayed professional
Yeah. Yeah.
at at all times. I mean, Steph had his Vaseline incident, and you,
Yeah, dude I haven't seen the Coney Island thing, which I want to watch it. I just recently saw that
that's great.
short Spike Lee doc that he did about the sneakers, but
It's
um
great.
I definitely want to see the Coney Island thing. And I don't know if they mentioned that in there, but that was tough. He was going through something. We laugh at that shit because mental illness and shit like that. But that's a real thing. You know what I'm saying? And he has all these expectations and people are looking up to him and things are not going. He's had it his way all his life, and then all of a sudden things are not going his way. He's looking for answers. You know what I'm saying? And we all go through that shit. We just don't play for the most storied franchise in the NBA. You know what I'm saying? So
100%, man. And so yeah, salute to him. I mean, yeah, I had obviously we all had our laugh. And the funny thing is, I didn't even laugh at the time because being a Knicks fan and hearing everybody else laughing, I
took it personal.
You know what I mean?
I took it personal.
So I didn't get to laugh about it until like years later,
right.
when he had kind of fixed his own career and dealt with his own demons and everything else. So at the time, I didn't laugh at it at all. It was really just one of those. That probably have been the first time I wanted to put the paper bag over my head.
Yeah. No doubt. I was mad at Jay-Z for having the Marbury at the light line in La La La, and I was like, I love you, Jay, but you crossed the line with the Marbury line. So I'm not going to listen to the Blueprint 3 just because you said that.
Somebody else had a bunch of songs about Marbury.
Had lines about Marbury.
Yeah,
if I find out who they are, I'm not going to listen to them anymore.
And I like them. For some reason, I think it was Shaheem
the Rugged Child.
Yeah,
really.
You know the album, whatever album he did that he has the song with Big L on it.
No way, Shaheem, aka the Rugged Child, actually made an album. I didn't even know.
Yeah. I mean, he did. He just at this time he wasn't a child rapper. He was, you know what I mean. He was a grown man.
Right.
I think he. But yeah. I won't even go into the lines because I think it was like some street stuff involved. And
really?
You know what I mean? But if you listen to that album, you know.
All right, I'm gonna stream that. I'm gonna give him 20 cents per stream. So we talking about like somebody for I Love It a Game podcast just said the Alexi Shved and Lou Amundsen era, and they weren't even stars, so I can imagine how they feel. You know what I'm saying? Like, they weren't. I thought, and talk about being optimistic. I thought they were okay. I was like, okay, these are players. If you put the players in the right position, they're NBA players. They're good ball players. Like they can succeed. But
I like that guy too. I did. I don't know how to say his name, Lexi, whatever.
Alexi Shved. Yeah.
I
mean, he would be good on this team.
Ended up going back overseas, right?
Yeah.
Like he didn't even say. Yeah, I liked him. I thought he had talent. Like, granted, the team was bad, but I thought he had talent.
Everybody needs a shooter. Every team needs a shooter. I mean, look who we got out of Steve Novak, right? Dude came out of nowhere, and we loved him. And he was on his, discount double check shit with the championship belt. Like every team needs a shooter. Like we got Reggie Bullock right now, and he's kind of filling that role. But if we had a dude like Steve Novak, we would be ruthless right now. You know what I'm saying? We bad now as fans, but we'd be unbearable.
I kind of think he had an unfair advantage because one, he was so tall, which was an advantage. But I don't think people were catching on to the fact that he was a threat.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it was like, all right, yeah, leave that guy. What's his name again? All right.
Yeah, exactly.
And, so that it kept building and building. I'm like, yeah, leave him open.
Yeah, keep leaving him open. We had other guys.
He's in the game. Like, leave him open.
Yeah. We had other guys like that. Like there was a point where Sean Williams was out of nowhere. He was just corner three. Sean Williams played.
The skinny 6'10". I remember him.
And he was shooting lights out. And Chris Copeland too. We were just talking about Chris Copeland. It's like these dudes come out of nowhere and they start shooting lights out. They become fan favorites. You know what I'm saying? So
Sean Williams, he was a heavy smoker.
Yeah.
I remember
he was taking tokes at halftime.
I remember him.
He was baked every game.
Yeah.
Oh man, I love the team, man. I love the team now because, like people say, last year, whatever they want, like Fizdale was, I was okay with Fizdale because, you don't know until he actually coaches. But seeing the transition that they made immediately when Mike Miller took over, it was like, oh, nah, these guys can do something, when once Tibbs takes over. And I was even kind of clamoring. I was like, they were playing so well that we could have just
Miller.
kept Mike Miller,
I agree.
but you can't pass up an opportunity to take a coach who wants to be here, who's one of the best defensive coaches of all time, right? And who's had success in the league before. So it was a no-brainer. But
Yeah.
you knew that these guys could play. Like nobody outside who wasn't watching the Knicks last year could say that they weren't terrible, because the record says that they were terrible. But to win 17 games, and you're not even expected. I think if the season would have kept going, they probably could have won, at least 25 games.
25,
And
yeah, I agree.
yeah, and adding Tibbs this year, I was like, oh no, they gonna win 30 plus games. So we just have to wait. I didn't think it was gonna be like this, but I was like, oh no, we gonna win 30 games, and then let them surprise. But it's been completely different. I was like, get Reggie Bullock and Julius Randle off my team immediately. And I had to moonwalk that shit back and apologize. You know what I'm saying? Because
Salute.
Randall's over, and I love the dude now. He's the way he's a great father. I'm sure they're all good fathers, but he's got his kid in the forefront. It's just a great story, man.
It
It's a
is.
great story.
It's like, I'll tell you a quick story. I clowned Randall a few times last year. You know what I mean? And when I say a few, I literally mean like maybe 5 times. I jumped in on the commentary, but for the most part, I was disgusted at the fans' reaction. To his overall play, and I was talking about it during the off season, and I was watching these draft podcasts, and I think the guy's name is Raphael.
Mm-hmm.
He does a draft breakdown. I can't think of the name of the show right now, but anyway, he does. And he's from Dallas, and he kept giving, like, every now and again he was giving random inputs on the draft players he was watching,
Mm-hmm.
and then Randall was at this gym constantly in Dallas, just working on his game. So I was peeping all this,
right?
And but right before I was working on this article, and right before the season, I was like, I got to get it out before the season starts. And it was basically, will you Knicks fans owe Julius Randle an apology?
Okay.
And it was I was saying all this stuff like, he's in a position he never been in before. This is a guy that's gotten better year after year after year statistically throughout his career. This is the first year that he had to become a leader.
The
main guy. He's never done this before. Basically saying,
give him a break.
Give him a break. And if this guy adjusts, you guys are gonna owe him an apology. And it was just great that when he dropped that, I dropped this the game of the season, and he dropped that Player Tribune article, and he was saying like some of the same exact things that I was saying. So I felt so vindicated.
Validated. Yeah.
Validated, you know what I mean? Like,
no,
like
it's true.
And it's amazing to hear so many people say, yo, I owed him an apology, or I apologize. You know what I mean? Like, that was a thing.
Yeah.
As the season went on.
Yeah.
So salute to him, man.
Yes.
And this is a perfect transition into, current roster, current regime. Because I try to end on a positive note, so this is not a negative podcast.
Yeah, no doubt. We're real fans. We want the team to win. But send me that article, man, because that would be a good read, man.
If you go to MBK, the MBK Wix app,
okay,
it's on there.
All right,
and a bunch of other articles, a bunch of all the MBK streams.
Okay,
the whole MBK family. You could watch all the videos there.
That's what's up.
Shout out to Sim again.
That's what's up, man. Good stuff.
But I'll send it to you though. I definitely will.
Yeah, the thing about Randall too that we don't give him credit for is that he wanted to be here and he wanted to be the guy, kind of like Amari was. And sometimes wanting to live up to that contract is difficult. You know what I'm saying? You getting paid all this money and you want to prove that you're worth all of this money. And you're trying so hard that he wasn't playing within himself, right? Like there were times last year he was so out of control, and it's a complete 180 this year because he's playing almost in slow motion. He moves so quickly, but he is so calm when he makes his moves and he's looking, for Reggie Bullock open in the corner. It's almost like he's playing at a different speed and at a different level from everybody else. And he's elevated the play of everybody on the team, including Alfred, who I know I'm going to take strays on. But no, he's improved. Everybody's improved around him, and that's the real sign of a leader, man. So he's been phenomenal. And even if it doesn't happen after this year, and I'm hoping it does, obviously, I don't know how he can get better. But if he doesn't do anything after this year, this shit has been magic. You know what I'm saying? And it's really, really good to see. And it's a great story. I hope it continues, but I appreciate him this year.
I agree 100%. And I often wonder, because even I thought he was going to get better. I did not think he was going to be this good this year.
Yeah.
So I, even with all my, props to myself, I got to be honest. I didn't think he would be this good.
Right. Nobody knew though. Nobody knew.
Now I often wonder how good can he be? You know what I mean? Like, because now he surpassed like all of my expectations.
Right.
And those were already high, for the general public. How good can he be? I think that's a great question that we all want to know.
It's scary. I just want him to be like this forever. You know what I'm saying? But if he can get better, oh man, I don't even know. Like he's scoring, it's amazing because he's scoring maybe 25 points a game. And you look at around the league and you see Steph scoring 30 plus a game and Bradley Beal scoring 30 plus a game. And we're happy with Julius Randle and what he's doing. It's mind blowing having to watch Steph Curry score 35, 40 almost every night. Like, these dudes are out of their mind. And then you think about Michael Jordan averaging 30 for his career. And I'm like, you know how insane you have to play every night to score.
Well, I'll tell you this. If we're looking at it just for him to get to 30 points, I don't think that's far-fetched because
wow.
But let me say why. He's gonna have to continue obviously what he's doing now, but the simplest way to do that is get to the free throw line a little bit more. Yes. Like that would be his next adjustment somehow. Average five more free throw attempts and maybe make one more three a game. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I think right there that'll average out to some 30 points.
That makes sense.
So I don't think getting to 30 is far-fetched. You know what I mean? I'm not saying he's gonna do it, but I think that's possible.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
But then after that,
I hope he doesn't add flopping to his game to be able to reach that, because that's a terrible part of the game. But yeah, if he can do that, man, that would be incredible. But also too, I think if you bring somebody else like you need that, like people are talking about bringing on Dame. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't think it's possible. I don't know how they'll do it. They may pull it off, but who knows? But now you bring in a guy like that, and does Julius get the amount of shot attempts that he does per game? Does he control the ball as much as he does now? I don't think, it may be even more difficult for him to get the 30 if they bring in.
I could definitely agree with that. But on the flip side, because his efficiency has improved so much, maybe he doesn't get to 30. Maybe he stays around 25. Yeah. But maybe it's on less shots.
Right.
You know
right.
what I mean?
More efficient.
And then to get to 30, maybe it's easier because he doesn't have to deal
with double teams. Yeah.
Yes.
Or triple teams.
He doesn't got
on one guy.
he don't got to be the main facilitator as well. So
Right.
now it's like bucket. You know what I mean? If you
Right.
get the
Right.
ball, it's bucket.
Right. Right.
So
Yeah. Yeah. There are pros and cons. I mean, I hope. Obviously, we hope Dame is. Dame can pull it off, but who knows, man? Who knows? I don't know who I want to see at point. I think before this year started, I thought the only point guard that could come in and change his team was Chris Paul, and I don't see anybody else in the league right now. Like I didn't think Drew Holiday coming to the Knicks would change anything, but after watching him, a little bit in Milwaukee and stuff like that, and I'm like, okay, he's an upgrade over Alfred definitely, but does he move the needle? Does he make them a number 2 seed or number 3 seed in the East? You know what I'm saying?
I
I
mean,
don't know.
I was high on Drew Holiday, but when I saw the trade, I wasn't
Not
willing. I
worth it.
wasn't. Yeah, I wasn't that high on him. Like
Yeah.
I thought he was gonna be. I thought he could have been a low key. You know what I mean? Like let us help you out by taking
Right.
him. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
Like,
Right. Right. Right.
but when I seen the return, I was like, yeah, like
Yeah.
that's a Chris Paul return. Which
Right.
you know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
Like
Right. Which
so.
we weren't even as fans, we didn't even want to give it up because we didn't want 44 million attached, which is another reason we didn't want Russ, right? It's like
Not
40
me.
million. Yeah, I didn't want Russ. I love Russ, but just not on my team. I've
Not
watched
me.
him be so out of control and be so inefficient that I would hate to hate him on this team. I love Russ and the way he plays, and I think he's phenomenal, but he's great on the Wizards.
The funny thing is, like if all things being equal, if like production wise and outcome wise or season wise, and granted, I'm happy. Everybody's happy where we are now, but had we gotten Russ and our season was identical to the Wizards season right now, like we all would have hated him
Right.
20, 30 games in.
Yeah.
But right now, today, we would be like, hey,
Okay.
you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
so but I just want to add, I was definitely one of the guys that wanted Chris Paul when he was still on before he got to OKC. And I got killed in the chat because of his
No,
price
man.
tag.
That
And
dude.
so I felt vindicated again watching
Yeah.
what he did at OKC.
Yeah.
And then watching last summer, everybody saying Chris Paul, Chris Paul. And I'm like,
Yeah. Yeah.
a year and a half
I
ago,
thought
you guys killed me.
I thought for the mere fact that he would turn Mitchell Robinson into an all-star. Like he got Tyson Chandler a third contract. He got Clint Capella another contract. You know what I'm saying? Like this dude is changing lives. You know what I'm saying? He's one of those dudes who, can facilitate. And I thought he would have been great for Melo, like Jason Kidd was that year. You know what I'm saying? Like he knows he's an extension of the coach on the floor. He knows when guys are hot. He knows when guys are cool off. He knows when to take over. Like, dude is all world, man. So I love Chris Paul, but they couldn't get him. It's 40 million too much than they wanted to do. And the Knicks are doing amazing things with, contracts, being smart with contracts and all that stuff. And it's just the whole thing has changed. The whole, the front office coaching is all in sync. And that's a beautiful thing to see, man.
What are your thoughts on this new point guard, this Euro point guard we just drafted?
Luka?
Yeah.
I think, I trust the front office. So if they say it's a good move, I can't judge him until I see him in an NBA game. But within the system, he's got to be, he's going to be good. You know what I'm saying? If he can take minutes and because Derrick Rose has been playing a whole lot, right? He's playing 28 minutes a game plus now. And if he can, come in and spell Elf a little bit earlier and, score a little, we don't need much, we just need that bridge to get to the,
Yeah. I don't even think it's a move for this year per se. Cause I don't think he's able to join the playoff roster.
Oh, yeah, I didn't know that.
I don't think so. I think you had to be on the team
for like 10 games at least. Yeah.
Yeah, by a certain day.
Yeah.
And then with that being said, if that's the case, I think it was a move for the future. I think he's going to end up being Elf's replacement. and I
Yeah.
think it was just like get him in here early, get him
Yeah.
acclimated a little bit.
Yeah. Get him with the
Um,
team and stuff like that. Yeah.
and
But
I
you know
wouldn't be
what?
surprised if we don't make any, like, other than him. I don't like that might be our point guard rotation, bringing Rose back, having him
I would
keep
love
doing
that.
keep doing what he's doing off the bench,
Yeah. I would love that.
and I, that's what I foresee.
That makes sense. Yeah. I mean, yeah, people hate Elf, but dude plays hard. He's not going to back down. He knows his strength is going to the basket. Yeah, he may brick a couple layups. Yeah, he may, throw the lob into the seats at times. But, for what he does, I appreciate him. And the contract is not an albatross. It's like, we need you for 1 year. Here's 5 million. Here's what we're asking of you. He hasn't complained. He hasn't been, a Debbie Downer. He's done what they've asked of him. And everybody on the team has bought in. So, you can hate his game and hate the way he plays, but he's doing the best he can, and that's all we can ask for.
Oh man, I tell you what, man, this was great, man. I definitely I got to get you back on.
Yeah, no doubt, Tone. I
It,
appreciate you,
it,
man.
it may not even have to be like a obviously Knicks and Bruises. We might just have to talk about current Knicks, and because this is great. And normally I do these episodes, right, and we bring up all these bad memories and stuff, and a lot of times I end up getting reliving it, and it's frustrating. The anxiety kicks in,
Uh,
and that's why I have to end them with the positivity. But I have to say, even the whole length of the show, you had me, smiling. I didn't get that anxiety feeling of bringing up the
Good,
bad
man.
memories.
Good.
So
I'm an optimistic fan, man. I still love the team regardless of what, and I always try to see the good in the team, man.
that
So
was great. I
uh,
appreciate you, bro.
this is a good show, man.
You want to let people know where they could find you, where they could follow you,
Yeah, man.
anything you got in the works.
Yeah, I got check out the YouTube show. I do a show, a weekly monologue where I make fun of news stories related to the Knicks and the Jets. And I'm a comedian, and you can follow me on Twitter. That's my favorite place to be. That's where I'll be talking shit. And I got some shows coming up. You could go to leevalentin.com, check out the shows that I got coming up. I'm in Greenwich Village this weekend at the Comedy Shop. So check it out, man. I just,
All right.
and if anybody that's watching comes out to a show, be prepared because I'm gonna shit on you. And it's all love, man. It's all love.
I'm gonna be in the city in a few weeks, so I'm gonna reach out, see if you got any shows going in.
No
I'll
doubt, brother.
definitely
Hey,
come support, man.
keep growing, keep doing your thing, man. Keep the grind going. I appreciate you, man. Happy to be back on whenever, brother.
I
And shout out to
appreciate
everybody
you.
who's on the stream, who was checking in, man. I appreciate y'all.
Yes, sir. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to you, Leo. Yo,
All
Black,
right,
it's time. Let's enjoy this game. Let's get this win.
let's go,
We
baby.
back.